I am Muscle Cruz. Carabao. Oh, wait. Yeah, there we go. Carabao Biker VTuber from the PH. Let me just check my mic again. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay, yeah. So, we are gonna be doing not really our first, but it's gonna be a start of a series where we're gonna start reacting to certain videos that I haven't watched yet. And this time, we're gonna start the series big. Kasi, so for those who don't know, I don't enjoy Warhammer 40k. More like, no, not that I don't hate it. It's just that for the most of my life, for the most part of my life, I didn't really delve into Warhammer 40k because there's a lot of it going on. But I found a game called Darktide, and from that game, I think I got pipelined. Basically, I got a lot of Warhammer 40k related intro because of that game. So yeah, just to set an expectation. Yeah, I know a bit because I played Darktide. That's it. Any other Warhammer 40k media, I only like get it like when I scroll in the algorithm, found in the algorithm, or from other Warhammer 40k fans because they're everywhere. Apparently, wherever you go, there's a Warhammer 40k fan, and yeah. And I found out that this is one of the best videos to start the 40k deep dive. Well, we're not gonna dive too deep because I heard that it's like really deep. But yeah, I mean, this is a good start. I heard from my friends that it's not 100% accurate, but it's good enough for people who don't know much about the thing. So yeah, this is it. We're gonna start. By the way, this was made by Bricky. It's been around for several years now, but he also has an updated version of the thing. So, hold on, let me just show. So, for those who's asking, who's Bricky? Well, he is, where is he? This guy, there we go. So, we're just gonna watch from our projector. For those who know a lot about Warhammer 40k, feel free to chime in about what you know about the thing. How big the universe is fine. That's how we're gonna do it. And we're gonna be posting the videos every now and then, in case I have something to say about the thing. And not gonna lie, I already saw parts of it because people kept referencing it. But I've never given this thing a proper watch. So yeah. Without further ado, teka lang. Check ko lang yung sound. Is it? Ayun nga, may music nga. Yeah. We're gonna get rid of the music so we can hear everything in its entirety. Where's my background music? There we go. Hey, ready na. Also, I'm gonna have an edited VOD of this para hindi ganun kahaba. Anyway, let's start. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
As someone who doesn't necessarily serve the Omnissiah, but someone who can appreciate them, you will not be getting my legs today, as I will be replacing them with various things depending on which faction we are currently talking about, to add a little bit more context and possible comedy to whatever the hell I am currently doing.
So there with the feet replay. This is the right one. This is the right one to start.
So, hello everybody, my name is Bricky, and this is going to be a long video and a large project.
It's 51 minutes.
Going on
and it's just
time.
part 1.
This is, I need 2 hands for this. This is every single Warhammer 40k race in kind of a nutshell, explained, a little bit of explanation, a little bit of lore, a little bit of...
This one, I see this one. I think, oh wow, I can already tell how expensive this hobby is.
Talking about tabletop, mostly lore, what they're all about, and also a little bit of background for those of you who just have no clue what Warhammer
This is the Emperor, right? Yeah.
40,000 is. Now you see, Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000 is a universe people hear plenty of, but don't know a whole lot about. They see, oh, there's these dudes in big power armor with chainsaw swords, and they got these big old green orcs, and there's some bugs over there, and everyone calls these guys weebs, and then there's these spiky bitches over here, and I don't get it.
Yeah, that part, I think that was one of the first Warhammer related info that I found out even before I played Darktide, is because I'm a big StarCraft fan, and there's a common saying that StarCraft was a Warhammer game, Warhammer 40 game, but they didn't go through with the IP. But later on, I found out that it wasn't StarCraft that was supposed to be the war. It takes a lot of inspiration from Warhammer 40k, but it's its own IP talaga. It's not supposed to be a Warhammer 40k thing in the beginning, but it has a lot of influence. I heard a lot of comparisons.
I don't understand. Where do I start? Well, this video is particularly for you, or for those of you who have a little bit of knowledge, which are kind of...
I'm not a heretical viewer. I'm a reject, so technically I'm trying to earn my for Darktide fans. I'm technically trying to earn my place back in the Imperium.
kind of curious about each of the different races and factions in Warhammer. So overall, the Warhammer universe is vast when it comes to lore and background, and each different faction is so different with the things that they believe in, and some are human, some are transhuman, like where they all have all these crazy ass electronics on them. You've got aliens, and you've got the chaos factions, and there's so much to entail.
Wait, what was that? Hold on.
Some are transhuman, like where they all have all these crazy ass electronics on them. You've got aliens, and you...
Is this the one where the Protoss was supposed to be based on? I mean, they kind of look like that. I like tall-ish with the energy weapons.
God, the chaos factions, and there's so much to entail that I decided to embark on this project to tell you what each
Oh, this is the
one
galaxy
is about, and what the Warhammer universe is about as well, to give at least a little bit of an intro to this extremely bloated but very, very enjoyable world that I and many others partake in. So, I will be explaining every single...
Okay, so yeah, with that one, this one I know, Adepta. Astra Militarum, I'm not really sure what it is, but I've heard it in Darktide. Blood Angels, yeah, I haven't heard that. Chaos Space Marines, that's like an entire faction, right? Dark Angels, no. Dark Eldar, don't know that. Eldar, kinda reminds me of my friend named Eldar. Grey Knights, no idea. Imperial Knights, Inquisition, yeah, I've heard about the Inquisition, of course. Necrons, Orcs, yeah, I heard about Orcs. Space Marines, of course, everybody. So, Space Wolves, I don't know about Space Wolves. Tau Empire, and yeah. So, yeah, I already know a bit about 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 factions already. Alright, let's go.
Single faction in the Warhammer 40k universe, at least all the factions you can play as, and some smaller factions here and there. I will not be discussing absolutely everything in it because that is a little bit much.
This reminds me of Judge Dredd, this getup. Is this a Space Marine as well? But the armor is kind of light, actually. This one looks like lightly armored. I know Space Marines have those big shoulder thingies.
Too mega deep into the lore.
Adeptus
A
Arbites.
solid overview of each of the different factions and have you learn a little bit about them, and we'll discuss a little bit of the tabletop as well, in case you were curious about that. But for this episode entirely, we are discussing the Imperium of Man, because that takes up a fat chunk of Warhammer.
The Empire.
What is Warhammer 40,000? Well, the 40,000 starts off is the year 40,000, the 41st millennium. That's where it takes place, is in the year 40,000, 41,000 AD. You're already more knowledgeable. Let me read you a quote, first of many quotes in this video. It is the 41st millennium. For more than 100 years, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods, and master of 1,000,000 worlds by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He is a rotting carcass, writhing invisibly with power from the dark age of technology. He is the carrion lord of the Imperium, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day so that he may never truly die. To be a man in such times is to be amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. These are the tales of those times. Forget the power of technology and science, for so much has been forgotten, never to be relearned.
Wait. No.
Forget the promise of progress and understanding, for in the grim, dark future, there is only war. There is no peace amongst the stars, only an eternity of carnage and slaughter, and the laughter of thirsting gods.
So yeah, so it says here that science is forgotten, never to be relearned. So does that mean like you're gonna run out of technology if, you know, because the war keeps going on, right? And there's a lot of resources involved. So does that mean like they just use whatever they just use whatever technology, and if that dies out, nobody's gonna discover a new alternative? They're not researching or anything. You think they'd think about that, right?
Everything blows.
Yeah, kind of.
And it blows fucking hard. Warhammer is probably the most dark and depressing universes ever.
Oh yeah, the grim dark
Like,
thing. Yeah.
Everything is so absurdly horrible, destructive, or overpowered that it all,
Oh, this reminds me of MechWarrior, this particular shot.
all kind of ends up
That
canceling
one's-
itself out. It's like
Wait lang. Hold on. I got sidetracked by a nuisance commenter and from behind.
Kasi di ba yung mga snake,
I'm reacting.
That's like
Shut up. Stop
fidget
interrupting me.
spinners.
Get away from me.
It's like Dota. War rages across the galaxy. Interstellar travel is only possible due to sacrificing 1,000 souls a day to a
Well, I mean, there's like oh, what the fuck is this? Oh yeah, there's a like if you sacrifice 1,000 souls a day, I mean, there's like billions. I don't know, maybe just put like the worst of society. There's probably more than 1,000 souls per day. that would quickly fill the quota, right? So yeah, it's
carcass of a man who you believe to be your god.
it could be like the death penalty, but instead of just killing them, they actually find some use, right? Like whatever that 1,000 soul sacrifice. What was that supposed to be?
Like Dota. War rages across the galaxy. Interstellar travel is only possible due to sacrificing 1,000 souls a day.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like if you're just gonna send off like the worst criminals in the universe, that's gonna be more than 1,000 a day, and they serve their purpose of letting you travel. You know, warp travel. I think that's efficient. That's actually efficient. Everybody wins, maybe except the criminals that you sacrifice, right?
To a rotting carcass of a man who you believe to be your god. Demonic gods and just demons tear
Ew, that
open
one's
the fabric of
that was
reality
disgusting.
on a whim. Other Xenos or even other humans end up killing each other in untold.
Oh, this one looks Protoss. This one looks like a Protoss. Although, yeah, the 5 fingers though.
Billions across the galaxy. It is a time of unending war, slaughter, and a bloodbath amongst everybody. Planets are deemed unrecoverable and are completely destroyed on a whim. Everything sucks. But that's like the charm of it.
Huh?
See, everything in Warhammer
Oh, that's a
is
Space Marine.
evil. But being evil is kind of fun. Like humanity,
Everyone is evil.
a xenophobic, prejudice, and religious zealot group.
Hey, you know, just like real life, guys. You know, a certain group.
That kill each other just as much as they kill all of their enemies. But
That's so close to reality.
mid
What's
to
this?
high tier
The evil scale. So I guess higher, yeah. My roles, that guy, Tau players, Imperium of Man, Eldor, Orcs, Tyranids, playing low tier for fun, playing by intent. So guys who bring food are the best. My roles are the most evil. Next to NX is my that guy. What's a Tau player? What's wrong with the Tau? Why are they evil? They're more evil than the Imperium of Man, so they're like the Chaos Marine, Chaos guys.
You're evil on the evil scale of Warhammer. Nobody is good. No matter who you are, everyone is some flavor, some color of evil. Whoever you pick, you are going to be the bad guy. But that's the fun of it. Because being the bad guy is badass. Villains are cool.
Yeah.
They look cool, they got cool outfits, they got cool weapons, they got cool armies. Villains are cool, man.
Oh, that reminds me. I played this MMO called Star Wars: The Old Republic, and funny thing is that it's actually more fun to play the Republic side characters, the Jedi Knights, Jedi Consulars. You know, basically that side of the fight of the factions. If you play the Jedi Knight and you pick the evil choices, it actually becomes more entertaining. On the other hand, if you're a Sith warrior, or if you're on the Empire side of things, if you pick the light side choices there, it actually becomes more interesting as well. So yeah, it's so good to play as a bad good guy. It's also good to play as a good bad guy. So I can see what he's going for when it comes to Warhammer 40k.
And when everyone is a villain, everyone is pretty cool. That's what makes this so charming, is that everyone can
I like the
be
map.
a bad guy. So let's start off talking about the main bad guy, quote unquote.
The main bad
the
guy.
Imperium of Man.
Empire of...
The Imperium of Man is the main empire of the human.
Ah, yeah, this one is on the
All
gun,
of
the
humanity
symbol.
is under this one flag called the Imperium. And about 10,000 years ago, there was a man. He was the Emperor of mankind.
This is just Mecha Fabio. 40k Fabio.
A 10-foot tall psychic demigod.
Is psychic.
Who led humanity across the stars to colonize tons and tons of worlds, create superhuman soldiers, and really bring humanity into a new age. This man, the Emperor of Mankind, was a psyker. And a psyker is like a magician of sorts. In the world of 40k, there is the warp, the immaterium, kind of like hell, but sort of like a purgatory dimension of hell. And a psyker is someone who can take that power and manifest it through their mind to use it to do stuff, like witchcraft stuff, magician stuff.
So this is like it's less like a superpower and more like, you know how in D&D warlocks they tap into something. So they're more like warlocks than like wizards, right? So they get their powers from there.
Spells and lots of other things, but we don't want to get too into that. The Emperor, big boy psyker, top tier, A+, maybe even S. Now the Emperor created a bunch of sons. Yes, created a bunch of sons known as the
Yeah, but who's the mom? Who's the moms of this? It's like, this reminds me so much of Legacy of Kain. For those who don't know, Legacy of Kain is like an old franchise. This has the same aesthetics.
Primarchs. He created 20, 18,
That's the guy
18
without the abdomen.
Primarchs to have
Yeah,
them
like-
lead all of the different legions.
This look like this look like Uzi's like this one. This one is definitely this is another Fabio. This one is goth. Oh, this one looks cool. This one, the green one. This one I wouldn't be able to tell these two apart. I even have Colossus from X-Men here.
Humanity to the different stars and plans to help colonize and bring it out. These Primarchs are basically like...
See, this is Colossus. Colossus. Oh, look, there's the hammer from the This is the hammer in the Warhammer. I am John Warhammer.
little versions of the Emperor. Not all of them are psychers, but a lot of them are
Oh, this one
very
looks cool.
powerful, and they lead his special Space Marine legions. Then this big clusterfuck happened called the Horus Heresy.
Horus
The
Heresy.
Emperor's
I've heard about
favorite
it
son,
once.
The Primarch, Horus, ended up joining Chaos and leading 9 other, well, I guess 8, 9 of the 18, half of his Primarchs directly to Earth to fight down the Emperor.
Look. It's this guy and the cooler version of that guy. Oh, they have the red one here. I'm pretty sure this one's evil as well.
Himself. Now, if you're wondering what Chaos is, remember what I mentioned earlier? The warp, that immaterium, the hellish place?
Yeah.
In there relies the 4 Chaos gods. Imagine like
Chaos
Satan
gods.
and 3 other Satans. The warp being kind of evil, those Chaos gods, that's the reason. And so those Chaos gods manipulated Horus, and then Horus helped manipulate all 8 other Primarchs to lead
Damn,
this
hold on.
giant- And then Horus...
Jesus Christ. How do you move in that armor? What if your balls start itching? How do Is that why they always look irritated? Are those people? Yeah, those are people, definitely people. So I'm guessing this is one of the main, like, the big bad or something.
help manipulate all 8 other Primarchs
Oh, this one looks good as well. I like the blue.
to lead this giant coup directly on the Emperor on Earth. And they fucked up.
I died.
Shit. After this huge civil war,
So many
Horus
eye
died,
thingies.
but not before brutally wounding the Emperor. And right at the end of his life, they put the Emperor on this large golden throne on Earth, in which he is now alive.
He's still alive.
Barely, but slowly rotting away, powering something called the Astronomicon.
Ew.
So long as he stays alive.
I like the art
Instead,
though.
1,000 people a day. The
There's 1,000 people a day thingy. Okay.
Astronomicon is like the North Star. If you want to do interstellar travel in 40k, you need to pass through that demonic warp I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
But how do you know where you're going? Well, the Emperor is there, putting a nice little navigator right there. He helps navigate.
This reminds me of
you know where
Mass
you're
Effect
going. If you want to go
and
from
the
some
typical
crazy
big
source
spaceship
across
thingies.
the way, you need to go through that warp, and then you need to know where you're going.
Where are those
go there
legs?
and pop your way out. It's like doing nether travel in Minecraft, so you can shorten the distance between going to areas.
That's
So long
that's actually a good way to put it, right?
as the Emperor is alive and being fed
Alive.
1,000 people a day to stay alive, you can do that.
Mhm.
The moment he dies, interstellar travel's gone for
Uh-huh.
all of humanity. You're so boned. Now, since the Horus Heresy 10,000 years ago, the Imperium has fallen from grace substantially. All technology has started to dwindle and die. There is now giant
We're gonna run out of
fundamental
things.
religious extremists that now believe the Emperor of Mankind was a deity, a true living god.
So like everything is evolving technologically, but backwards, I guess. So yeah, I guess the designs for the weapons are gonna be gone. The designs for they're gonna if this keeps going, they're gonna revert back to their base weapons, to their rocks and sticks, and then there's gonna be regular Warhammer.
Which is probably the last thing the Emperor would have wanted to be remembered for. So now you have this thing called the Ecclesiarchy, which is this giant church entirely devoted to spreading the good word of the Emperor. He is now the Holy Emperor God, the God Emperor.
The
of
God
mankind.
Emperor, yeah.
And all of the Imperium has taken up worshiping him to the fullest extent and killing anything that isn't humanity in his name.
Wait, that's kinda. It's kinda racist, no? Oh look, it's 40k it's 40k Gondor.
The Imperium has this futuristic gothic tone to it and a hefty religious zealotry to them. If you think anything against the Emperor,
I like the
that's
drip of this
heresy and
guy.
You deserve to die. That is called being a heretic. Heretics die in 40k. There is no such thing as freedom of religion.
Local
There is no such
heretic
thing as
being
freedom of speech,
punished.
so long as you are against the Emperor. There is no such thing as any kind of tolerance. Everyone is a religious zealot. Some more than others, but...
Hey, who's this guy? Haley, who's this guy? He looks like a villain, actually.
You preaching that good word. So right now, everyone in humanity is trying to expand their empire across the stars. If you are a heretic, someone who doesn't believe in the Emperor, you are deserving of death. If you believe in the Chaos Gods, you are also a heretic and you deserve death. If you are an alien race of any kind, you are a filthy Xenos and you deserve death as well.
Like, imagine if you're like, you're even more of a villain to me in my eyes. I like, imagine if you're just an alien and you're just chilling, and then someone says, "Oh, you're a heretic," and then they started killing you. Yeah, but these are the Space Marines, right? I guess so. Yeah, he said earlier everybody's a bad. This is the main bad guy. So yeah, you're a dick basically. You play as a dick. Like, hey, this is Warhammer 40k. Let's play. You have this kind of dicks, that kind of dicks.
So long as the murder continues and humanity expands, the Imperium of Man is very, very
Wow, very
However,
expansionist.
the largest fighting force of this Imperium is my personal favorite faction, and the first faction we will discuss, the Astra Militarum, or also known
Astra
as the
Militarum.
Imperial Guard.
Yeah, this one I heard about this because Darktide has a lot of working with this
The Imperial Guard
faction.
is the main fighting force of the Imperium, and in a world of horrifying creatures, galactic monstrosities, the literal demons themselves breaking through the fabric of time to kill you, the Imperial Guard are untold billions of regular men and women wearing modern day.
I like this guy's
black
grip.
armor.
This is like the veteran from Darktide.
This is the humble las gun, the main weapon of the Imperial Guard. It fires superheated plasma lasers at an extremely fast fire rate. It is reliable, never jams. It can blow off limbs, giant holes in concrete. It is overall an extremely devastating weapon.
So basically we're being dicks to each other. This one, the last gun, is a veteran's main weapon basically in Darktide. I like the recon last gun. I don't know, a lot of people like the semi-auto version, the regular one. Not me. I like the recon last gun, one that fires full auto rounds. I mean, they do less damage per shot, but I feel like they're better at stopping things because they kill things faster. The last gun kind of feels like, yeah, it's strong, but when there's a horde, like, you can only fire it so much, and then you fall back to your melee weapons, to your shovels, to your knives. Yeah, but I prefer the full auto version of this gun.
In modern day, it is one of the weakest in the 40k universe.
A flashlight.
A laser rifle that never jams, it can blow off limbs, one of the weakest weapons. That's the world we're in right now. But who cares? Because the Imperial Guard has, in each battle, 500,000.
You're gonna die to death of 1,000 cats.
Large armored tanks, 10,000 artillery batteries. The Imperial Guard wins.
That's kind of expensive.
Numbers and firepower. They kind of have this World War.
Wait, what was that?
Sheer numbers.
What was that?
Fire.
Hey, I heard you like rockets in your rockets, so we're gonna strap 1, 2, 3, 4 mini rockets, make them make them function as thrusters for one big rocket. It's a rocketception.
They kind of have this World War I, World War II.
Yeah, I see veterans always fielding this.
Legions of guardsmen, as well as high company commanders and generals on the field along with them, and multiple kinds of troops.
I like this one.
A normal Imperial Guard battle starts off with artillery, long lines of artillery, cracking the crust of the planet.
Basically saturation bombing or something.
And as this barrage continues, hundreds of thousands of guardsmen, a sea of guardsmen surges forward, firing and charging at everything possible, while the planet rumbles as tanks roll up behind them. Gunships block out the sun, and tanks block out the dirt.
Damn.
With the steps and hoof prints of millions of guardsmen.
So basically, this is like the original Zerg Rush, right? Like, you just pour as many people in the like, just like a flood of people with las guns, while being supported by tanks and bombers, I guess.
It is through numbers and sheer sundering firepower They are the first and last line of defense for the Imperium. They make up a huge bulk of the battles. The Imperial Guard is also made up of tons of different kinds of regiments. The Catachin Jungle Fighters.
It's Rambo.
World that it's more
Oh my god, it's Rambo.
Any firefight they'll ever get into. So they just have this steroid-looking, giant, Rambo Predator-looking sons of bitches.
This is so 80s style. I guess this is one of the first things they thought about when Warhammer 40k was like a thing. Imagine having Rambo as a cannon fodder. that's the scale of this game, of this franchise.
Where nothing is anywhere near as scary as a simple knight on their home planet. You have the Valhallan Winter Soldiers who haven't felt their toes in 300 years. The Mordian Iron Guard who are...
this look like look at them. They're so clean looking compared to the other ones.
More interested in making their shoes shine.
I just said they look cleaner than the usual soldiers shown earlier. And then Bricky just says they're more concerned about shining their shoes or something.
Than actually fighting a battle. And then of course the big one, the Cadians from Cadia.
Oh, that's one. This one is one of your origin in Darktide, so I kind of heard a bit about Acadians.
The biggest export of guardsmen in the entirety of the Imperium.
They have the purple eyes, right?
First gun at 5. You will disassemble and reassemble it at 10. You will have pounding artillery drills day in and day out at 15, and you'll fight your first swarm lord at 6.
This looks like a hybrid. This looks like a Proto-Zerg hybrid. If you played StarCraft 2, you'll know what I mean.
And if you mention Cadia, you will burst into an unrelenting...
Well, did the planet blow up?
...and sadness, like I do daily. To quote, I have at my command an entire battle group of the Imperial Guard. 50 regiments, including specialized drop troops, stealthers, mechanized formations, armored companies, combat engineers, and mobile artillery.
French.
Over 500,000 fighting men and 30,000 tanks and artillery pieces are mine to command. Emperor, show mercy to the fool that stands against me, for I shall not.
Like with that much resources, I think it's more than enough to take over like maybe a planet or two, right? Are you saying they deployed this much in a single battle? Because if so, that would be insane. And expensive, I guess.
The Imperial Guard are my personal favorite faction in 40k. They're the army I collect the most, the ones I enjoy playing the most, and the one I enjoy in the lore sense a lot. There's something about just a regular man with a laser
I can see.
being told to charge the horrors of this universe and willingly doing so.
I mean, Darktide players are kind
It's
of
just poetic. They actually represent the main Imperial Guard tactics pretty well. Large amounts of artillery that doesn't require a line of...
Oh, wouldn't this be even more expensive than just playing Space Marines? Because you're gonna need a lot more. You're gonna need more figures, I guess, because Bricky said earlier that they win by numbers. So imagine how many individual pieces you need to represent that, because it's not gonna feel as epic if you only have like a handful, right? So you're gonna have to have like an entire batch of like foot soldiers, and like I bet these 3 tanks would already cost you a lot.
Sight, lots of tanks, tons of...
Oh, that's a lot of figures. Look at that.
And gunships. Overall, they're pretty similar to how they sound.
I like the
though
paint.
a little bit expensive to collect, unfortunately.
The minifigures are so expensive that it's making me and my wallet cry. I actually searched earlier this week. I searched how much a starter kit, like the basic, like the bare minimum you need to start a tabletop game for one side, just one player. And the cheapest one is around $120. And it's not yet like the complete Warhammer experience. Like, you still have to paint it, and then that means you have to buy paint, or you have to hire someone to paint the things for you. Now imagine using this faction. So you're gonna have a lot of pieces to worry about.
And they don't hit a lot. They have a bit of a bad aim, but you don't really
They're like
care
stormtroopers.
because you're just drowning them in shots.
Yeah.
However, you want more accurate fire and specialization? we can move on to talk about Space Marines.
Speth Marines. Like I always said, it's Speth Marines. Oh my! I feel like he's mocking them as well. Oh, that's a StarCraft
The
sound.
Angels of Death are up next. Space Marines are genetically engineered super soldiers and superhumans. They're given extra organs, their skin tissue is toughened, their bones are stronger, they're taller than the average person. They're pretty
What's the
massive people, and these are the
Space Marines in their metal
super
boxes?
soldiers that carry out a lot of the more specific tasks for the Imperium.
They have
And there's
chainswords.
tons of legions of them. In fact, there's one per Primarch. Each Primarch...
Oh look! We have the slightly grayish Space Marines, and then the other grayish Space Marines, and another grayish Space Marine, and then another. They have like, at least the red and yellow stand out.
Emperor's Son, as I mentioned before.
Oh, this one's blue. This is the poster child.
The genetic upgrade they get is based on the genes of said Primarch. So I call it gene seed. That's what brings them up to this like
Gene
superhuman
seeds.
level. As stated, each Primarch has their own legion. Robot Girly Man has
Robot
the
Girly
Ultramarine.
Man.
Jagatai Khan has the White Scars. Rogel Dorn has the Imperial Fist.
No, Robot what?
Korax has the Raven Guard. There's a whole bunch of other.
No. What?
Fists. Corvus.
This is like it's like so standing out. Look at them. They oh, we want to be. We're like the main character kind of thing. Oh, they're like the edgy party member with the black theme. I like the shape of the helmets though.
Korax has the Raven Guard.
They're like more
There's a whole
sleek.
bunch of other side sections that are
Oh, whoa,
also-
whoa, shit. Oh, that's a lot. Legion 9, 10. Oh, this one 11, 10. But why is it not arranged properly? Why is it... Which one do I like? This one, the sleek guys, the Raven Guard. Legion 19? Ultramarines, or as I fucking call them, Smurfs. This one's the blue? Yeah. Primarch. They have Primarchs as well. This is a robot Gilliman. Robot Girlyman. Alright, I will.
Extremely interesting and have a little bit more of a twist on the average Space Marines, which we will discuss.
I bet like each legion has like 15 books about them, maybe 25. That's
Enough,
Papa
I don't have a whole lot to
Smurf.
say about Space Marines. They're superhumanly fast. In fact, it's been said that nothing that large should move that quick. These men in power armor moving at
Oh, this one has a bullet in the head.
reflexes are faster, their skin is tougher. They are overall just extremely powerful soldiers. In fact, where they differ comes down to which Space Marine Legion we're talking about. For instance, the Ultramarines done by Robot Gilliman are the main blue boys, strong in almost every way.
The blue boys.
jack of
Ah,
all
yeah,
trades.
this they're
A
the
little bit too
Space
strong,
Marine.
that's a lore problem, but
The game.
White
Yeah.
Scars by Jagatai
Oh.
Khan are
Oh, I like this one. For obvious reasons, I think I like this faction. Or do all of the Space Marines have access to this? Look at this. This is a biker Space Marine. Not a fan of the color, but I like the bikes.
are all about speed freaks. Go fast.
Yeah, go
Attack
fast, speed.
bikes. We're talking land speeders. You want to go in quick. You want to hit them hard. You want them to be swarming around like buzzflies. Buzz saws.
So these are the Blitzer
The
Space
speed
Marines.
of buzz saws.
Huh? What?
Fuck you, Pale King.
I don't play Hollow Knight.
Fire in the forge, fire in battle. Flamers, melta-guns, multi-meltas. Just so long as something can be burning, that's
And they're the
okay. And also actually
pyromaniacs.
Nice as the Space Marines. A lot of Space Marines have this kind of like holier than thou thing because of their genetic strength. However, the salamanders tend to put human lives above the lives of themselves, which is actually rather rare.
I think only one faction of the Space Marines has motorcycles led by Primarch Khan. Oh. The main disadvantage is that Not all planets have roads. Not all terrain have roads. So those might be all terrain bikes. This one looks cool. This one looks like a Warcraft character, actually. A classic Warhammer character. Yes, melee weapons in an age of guns.
They're also all black, but not
All
like
black.
just regular black, like 2 a.m. line at a White Castle.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
Like they have a charcoal.
I'm not you. I'm not American, so I don't know what he meant by that metaphor.
Dark, ashy exterior.
I like the
and
eyes.
blazing red eyes.
Hmm.
Apparently, something about living on their home planet of
They're so green though. Are they supposed to be dragon themed?
But who cares? This is like fantasy land anyway.
Yeah,
Overall,
fantasy,
Salamanders
space
are
fantasy
actually
land.
my personal favorite legions because they're just really cool. They're fun to play as.
Is this a pistol type flamer? Because in Darktide there's a flamer, but you still have to two-hand the thing. I guess if you're a space marine, you're big enough that a pistol to you, a full-size flamethrower to you is the size of a pistol because you're bigger than the usual.
Because of all their flamer weapons, and they have a nice, like, more heartwarming lore as opposed to being super evil like everyone else is. Oh my god,
Imagine looking like that and then being heartwarming.
Imperial
Oh wait, they're heartwarming because they're into fire, I guess. Yeah. Is that a baby? Yeah, that's a baby. That's totally a baby. It's gonna grow up to be a space marine.
Leaving the power of siege and defensive positions. Raven Guards.
Oh, this
Master
one.
of stealth and sabotage.
Oh, chainsword,
Iron
chainsword, yeah.
Hands, masters of machines.
Thunderhammer.
While being really goddamn good at being sold on eBay after one nerf.
Oof.
Space wolves, Vikings, and wolves.
Wait, there's nerfs in the tabletop. So imagine spending. All those flying babies are called cherubs. They're gonna grow up into like mecha angel things. He said something about nerf. So imagine if you like spend a lot of money on that faction and then you get nerfed to the point that you're not playable. What happens then? Do you just repaint it to a different color, call it a different faction? That feels so bad. Yeah, I guess that's one of the reasons why I won't be able to buy enough to make a viable squad. I'm gonna be always worried about, oh, they're gonna nerf my faction.
Tons of wolves and axes, battle axes.
I like
fur
wolves
everywhere,
thing,
space wolves,
so I
angry,
should probably go
teeth,
to.
blood
Ow.
angels, the genetic defect to make them want to drink blood and go crazy, called the red thirst.
Vampires, guys. Oh no, this Space Marine vampire. Oh, it's. I'm invoking the meme. What happened, Emperor?
They have Cupid wings and stuff, which is a little bit strange. And
Cupid
they're
wings.
all super gay for sanguinius. Dark angels are old school knights and inner circle theme and.
What?
Are you a heretic?
Me? No, never.
What?
Once we were little, I know.
Death Watch, fancy pantsy
Death Watch.
anti-Xenos group that nobody plays because Death Watch and look cool though, but no one plays them. I don't know about Death Watch. They're there though.
Oh, they
Watch.
have a scoped. They have a scoped bolter. I wish I had a scoped bolter. When playing Dart, I use a bolter pistol without a scope, and it's so frustrating because they have so much range, but they have like iron sights, so it's so hard to use them. I would kill for this in the game. Scope bolters.
Look cool though, but no one plays them. I don't know about Death Watch. They're there though. Black Templars for the people who, if you haven't prayed at least
Crusade
3
shit.
times a day, you're gonna start praying out that airlock. And I'm sure there's some other chapters I may have missed as well, like Crimson Fists and stuff. But those are the main ones right here. Here, quote from the Emperor himself. They shall be my finest warriors, these men who give of themselves to me. Like clay I shall mold them, and in the furnace of war I shall forge them. They shall be of iron will and steely sinew. In great armor I shall clad them, and with the mightiest weapons shall they be armed. They will be untouched by plague or disease, no sickness shall blight them. They shall have such tactics, strategies, and machines that no foe will best them in battle. They are my bulwark against the terror. They are my defenders of humanity. They are my space marines, and they shall know no fear. And on the tabletop, they fuck Oh, they fuck hard.
They
As of
fuck.
making this video, Space
Holy
Marines are
shit.
laughably strong. That might
How big are these things again? What? How much painting you have to do just for one piece? Look at that. So you're gonna take days just to paint one of these things. Chad, these are small, right? Imagine it, like it's so easy to mess them up. This one even has a flame sword. This guy, so many. I guess this is like, oh, everyone looks fancy enough.
change at some point, but overall, Space Marines just have it's like a Swiss Army knife, a tool for anything you need, except it's like a gold-plated Swiss Army
And they have
knife. It is
tanks.
extremely strong. If you are actually getting into the tabletop of Warhammer, Space Marines are a great start. Also, whatever gameplay style you have, whether you want to be sit back with long range and heavy weaponry, go fast and run in, or even just full melee, all of these options are totally there for you. Space Marines are super badass, but unfortunately, it's time we start praying to our new god, the 2011 Honda Civic.
Honda
So is it any wonder people are afraid of technology?
Technology! The Adeptus Mechanicus.
I've heard a lot about this, guys. Actually, these are the ones that I'm most interested in because they look cool and their concept is cool.
The Adeptus Mechanicus are a technophile cult.
Hadron is
on
like
Mars.
one of these, right?
Now,
And
these
KX.
people are a little bit weird.
Little
They
bit
actually
weird.
really believe in the Emperor of Mankind. And you might think, oh, whoa,
Mhm.
Bricky, that sounds like some heresy. A little bit. They believe in the Emperor, they believe in his power, but they don't pray to him. They pray to something called the Omnissiah.
Yeah, I've heard about
The
that, the Omnissiah.
is this kind of machine god they believe permeates in all machines. And if you think, well, wait a minute, they believe in a different god as well? That sounds like super heresy. Well, yes-ish, but they also make all your guns, and they make all your tanks, and they make everything that you have.
Yep.
So you can't really tell them to fuck off because you're not gonna win nothing if you don't got stuff to shoot people with. See,
Facts.
they're Omnissiah. At least makes
Wait, does the Adeptus Mechanicus also supply the weapons for the Space Marines? I know they work with the rejects in Darktide. So does that mean they also supply weapons to, you know, the ones higher up? Like, are you sure you want to entrust all of your technology, even the highest level Imperial forces? Get their weapons from these guys? This is basically like, imagine your main weapon supplier could easily turn on you, I guess. I mean, they're not Imperials, right? They're technically not Imperials because I don't know. Are they still human? I know they're human that replace themselves with machine parts. But if they don't worship the Emperor, that means they're probably likely to turn. You know, they're the most likely to turn their back against the Empire guys. And they're funding all of your technology, even at the highest level. If that's the case, I don't know. That's bad. That's dangerous. If I was Imperial, I'm not sure if I trust these guys with all of my guns. Maybe some of my guns, but not all of them.
sense from their standpoint. They believe it to be a deity that permeates through all machines. Your Honda Civic, your standard bolt gun, your Dune Strider Walker, your giant mechs, your huge ships. The Omnissiah is present through all. The only reason your stuff works is because the machine's spirit in it says it works. If you want your gun to work, your tank to run, you must pray to it. And I mean full stop. You need to start chanting in high Gothic. You need to burn incense. You need to sit on your knees and pray to that car. You need to rub oil on your robes.
Okay.
And you need to go, ahomina, homina, 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 homina. Full stop if you want your damn thing to work. If you
This is just like real life, guys. Remember when, like, whenever I install a new part dun sa computer ko, in my computer, whenever I put a new hard drive, whenever I replace the graphics card, or even whenever I open up my PC rig to clean it, just have I don't even have to modify it, just to clean it and then put it back. I put the cover back on. I always pray that it will turn back on. Because there are a lot of times that you just tamper with it a bit, like you just reset the RAM sticks and stuff, and then you try to turn it on and it's not turning on. So yeah, it's kind of like that as well in real life. You have to pray for your computer to work after modifying it just a bit. Or if you have a if you update the BIOS, or if you tinker with the RAM, if you try to overclock, you just pray that everything will work. So yeah, this is kind of like in real life. Adeptus Mechanicus is so close to real life. From the moment I knew the weakness of the flesh, it disgusts me. This reminds me of this because I play a very old MMO called RF Online, and my preferred race there is the Accretion race, where basically you grow up as a kid, and then once you're of age, you go to a facility where they remove your brain and transfer it to a robot body, to a machine body. So I guess this is kind of the same thing as them. Oh, and their tag is flesh is weak. Their main motto is flesh is weak. So they're very similar to this one.
Gun to fire, you need to do that. They are very bizarre, and they actually have a bit of a point because it's obviously working. And if you look at them,
yeah,
I don't know how that works.
This feels like it's even more difficult to paint compared to the Space Marines. At least Space Marines have like big surfaces. These ones have lots of detail.
So they obviously know something about what they're doing. The most notable member of the
I love this guy.
is Magos, whatever. Belisarius Call. Look at this dude.
If this was a... Wish I can transfer my brain while upgrading some brain PC parts so I have better memory and thinking speed. For me, yeah. Well, more like I prefer having more data storage than processing speed. If this guy was a D&D character, you wouldn't be able to guess. Is this an int-based character? Is this strength-based? Is it a spellcaster or a melee? It looks like a mix of both. It's like a melee spellcaster with guns. It has all the stats.
Yeah. This is the group we're talking about.
Yeah.
These
I like these guys.
Here. The Omnissiah Creed. The credo Omnissiah. There is no truth in flesh, only betrayal. There is no strength in flesh, only weakness. There is no constancy in flesh, only decay. There is no certainty in flesh, but death.
Damn.
Flesh is weakness.
I like the codes, they're so hardcore.
The Omnissiah is the god of the machines, and if you wish to be whole, if you wish to be holy, if you wish to give unto him, you must saw down your limbs and remove your organs and replace them with mechanical parts, because that is what he wants, and that is how you will become enlightened.
It's like you have to be modular, guys. If you're Adeptus Mechanicus, you have to be modular. Praise be unto Omnissiah, yeah. You have to be modular so you can be easily upgradable. You can't be like you can't be like those things like laptops are harder to upgrade, but yeah. So PC Master Race, because you can't upgrade consoles, so I bet the Adeptus Mechanicus are PC Master Race players as well.
Hard technophiles.
Look at those details.
Religious extremism. Adeptus Mechanicus. Now, for their army side of things, they are with the Skitari. The Skitari operate with very bizarre weaponry and lots of different kinds of vehicles.
Is that a revolver rifle thingy?
They're very weird, but they have extremely.
I like their aesthetics.
Enjoyable and, in fact, quite effective.
Is it possible to have like a blue themed version of this? Because I like their stuff, but my favorite color is blue. So I wish they had like a regiment that's canonically blue or gray themed. I'd like to have that.
both in the real game and in the lore, weaponry and gear.
Imagine-
Overall, as an army,
I just said earlier about how these guys will be a bitch to paint, and look at these guys. It's like I would run out of. So far, all I see, a squad of these foes are pretty much the same, but they're color blind. Look at this detail. Like, I would give up just painting like the tip of this weapon thingy. Are this also part of their stuff? Yeah, this looks like. This doesn't look as tech. The ones on the right side aren't as techy looking. They're more like BDSM. Yeah, they're so busy. That's the thing. They're so. Imagine painting this. You know, oh, I'm gonna spend like 5,000, 6,000 pesos for a starter set, and then you have to paint them because they're all gray at the start. And then imagine if, you know, having to assemble this. I don't even know where this particular one guy starts and where it ends. Is this still part of him, or is I like their overall aesthetic.
on the tabletop, they're very weird and have a whole bunch of different shenanigans. But if you like kind of that quirky, wacky techno thing,
Oh, these are for the technical players.
hell, they're so paranoid. I gotta keep going.
Hmm?
They're so paranoid and crazy. These Doom Striders you see right here,
Doom
one
Striders.
guy was able to make them work. One guy, and he died. And they're so scared they'll never work again.
Mhm.
They keep them on and they never turn them off, and they run around in a circle the whole time until they need them, and then they corral it.
This is just like at work. Okay, let's just put this in perspective. At work, you know how many companies they have like this content management systems, or they have this proprietary systems that the people work with. And if the head IT leaves the company without leaving instructions to the guys that are gonna take over, nobody's gonna be able to figure the stuff out, and if something breaks, they'll no longer be able to fix it because the head IT that created the thing from scratch is no longer available. This is how you make your job secure, guys. Make them depend on you. But this guy died, so they don't have an option. Why didn't they just turn the dead guy into a machine so that he can keep going?
And they go to battle. Yep. The Adept Mechanicus. Now, if you want to talk about faith, though, let's talk about the Sisters of Battle.
Oh yeah, I know about this because
The Sisters of Battle of the Adeptus Sororitas.
wait, I know a bit about these guys, these girls because one time Farmer had a haircut, and I was like, yeah, she has the same hairstyle as this one.
If that's how I pronounce it correctly, is an all-female group of battle sisters
Adeptus
going through
Sororitas.
the ecclesiarchy section of the Imperium. The ecclesiarchy is, of course, the church. This is, imagine a private army of the church.
Space battle
Which is
zones.
scary, and it is. The sisters are an extremely zealotous force, and they take this to a full extreme. They believe in three main things: faith, martyrdom, and fire. Through the bolter, the flamer, and the melta, the Sisters of Battle are
Are they like Space Marines as well? Like they're like Space Marines but female. Is that how they are?
extremely potent at taking out chaos and heretics. Mainly
They have the same
heretics,
weapons.
because as they are a
They don't have
final
blast
section
guns.
Of the ecclesiarchy church, that's the big thing they want to kill. Any form of heretic will face the Emperor's justice through those three main weapons: the bolter, the flamer, and the melta, and they will do so with extreme prejudice.
Damn.
Literally. They are the closest things we have to nuns in space.
That
I'm
head
talking
placement, though.
hardcore nuns. They carry holy fire on their backs.
Huh?
They have holy books,
The books,
and
yeah.
sigils all across their armor. Their main battle tank is a fucking pipe organ missile launcher. They have
Wait, so if it these are the cherubs. So if they fire, do they make a sound? Do they just play the music while it's firing in sequence?
Small babies that they have like removed
Cherubs.
their brain capacity to make them little servant cherubs to fly around and give them ammunition and shit.
They're like supply drones.
Drop churches from low orbit as mini drop pods onto battles.
Church.
They drop churches into battles and they blare war hymns and holy music from their frigates in low atmosphere and shower holy water across the battlefield.
They drop churches. So this is basically a mega church. they do their church plantations thing, except hostile.
These are the people you are dealing with, and they're fucking awesome. They can literally
Ew, what the fuck?
off demons on the tabletop because
It's
their
like a
faith is
zombie
that
thingy.
strong. Remember the warp, the demons from the warp?
Yeah.
Well, the warp also manifests in your mind. All of your emotions, negative and positive, go through the warp. It's the immaterium, the place of all things.
They're
So if
space
you are
churchies.
that mentally fortified, that mentally strong, you can stave off horrifying demons. And all these girls, oh, not a crack. Not a crack in that mental line. Now,
damn.
as much as a meme as
I
they
thought it was
are,
funny.
and as much as their models look a lot like Ongo Gabloglian, yeah, which I can't.
Is there any faction that's actually easy to paint? Because even this one looks hard to paint.
See anymore. I gotta say.
Look at that. Although I like the color scheme, it's like black, red, and white, like newspaper-ish. I like the color scheme.
Love their design. I think they're extremely cool. They're another army that I'm currently collecting. They just released a whole new line of.
Oh, they all have
very
white
awesome.
hair, right? Is
And they
that
look
part of
wonderful.
the initiation or something?
Everything from Celestine, the living, literally
It's an
undying
angel.
saint from the triumph of Saint.
And they all have the
Catherine,
same-
which is
they all have the same
literally a
hair.
funeral procession as a model. Those organ tanks I mentioned earlier. This shit is the most over-the-top badassery in a lot of the Warhammer universe, and goddamn it, is it over the top? But Sisters of Battle are so cool. While I'm a guardsman at heart,
This one doesn't have white hair.
this is such a cool faction. By Bolted Shell, Flamer Burst, and Melta Blast,
What's a
the
Melta?
mutant, the heretic, and the traitor alike are cleansed of their sin of existence. So it has been for 5 millennia, so shall it be until the end of time.
Damn.
And speaking of burning demons,
I can see!
The Grey Knights.
the Grey Knights are the first army I actually collected back in 7th edition.
Are they different from
Grey
Space
Knights are
Marines?
a super secretive and much more old school look at power armored knights, except they are all psychers. All of them have that crazy space magic magician shit.
They're not just Space Marines, they're magic Space Marines. So these are like the prestige class of Space Marines, I guess, if you level up.
For every 100,000 guardsmen, there's one Grey Knight. For every 10,000 Sisters of Battle, there's one Grey Knight. For every 1,000 Space Marines, there's one Grey Knight. Grey Knights
Dude, they're
are
worth
the
that much.
strongest of the strong, both in mental will and absolute just strength. These are Space Marines that are all high-level psychers, all of them able to specifically do one goal, and that is kill demons.
Are these like old? Because I look at the media is all like, they all look like old art, like painting. None of them are
The
CG.
Emperor believed that the demons
Oh, this
of
one's
chaos
CG.
were the #1 threat to the Imperium.
I guess this is one of the first
Probably
factions
right.
they thought of.
However, this group is entirely based on doing that through a myriad of tactics. Coming from the planet, or I guess the moon of Titan, in the solar system, the Grey Knights are thrown through extremely rigorous training.
Yeah, this look like early concepts. Like Warhammer started like 70s, right? 70s, 80s. I feel like these are some of the first things that they thought of when designing their stuff.
And are as clear of mind and soul as they possibly can be.
Mhm.
Since the demons of the warp are the warp, and your mind projects to the warp, people can go insane very fast, especially lower level psychers.
Mhm.
These Grey Knights need to be able to harness the warp,
Damn, that was
feel
badass.
the presence of demons, and stay perfectly sane. One of their characters, one of my favorite characters, is named Castellan Crow. He has
Castellan
the
Garen
blade,
Crow.
the black blade of Mahamahama.
Mama.
He has to have it on him because it tempts everyone nearby, constantly beckoning them. Use my power.
It's Frostmourne, but
use
space.
My strength. Suck my penis.
What?
Whatever the possibility. And so he has to keep it on him
Uh-huh.
all the time.
Alam
As this
yung-
thing whispers to him consistently, and he has to stay.
Guys, it's the Space Force
forever,
Frostmourne.
being alone in his chambers or on the battlefield, because anyone who gets too close to
Uh-huh.
it might be tempted a little too hard. He is that pure of heart and mind, and all the characters in the Grey Knights are basically like that. The only issue is that the Grey Knights have a scorched earth pulse.
Yes, he always sucked his stick, battle brother. No. Oh yeah, before you got here, I was thinking maybe the Space Knights are like this. They were like conceptualized. They're one of the first factions that were conceptualized because they all look so 80s coded. They all look so 80s coded in 80s. Eto, this Grey Knights. Compared to the Space Marines feel like they're more modern themed. Yeah, but the Grey Knights feel like if I was in the 80s and I was thinking of a sci-fi setting, they're 2000s na. But they feel like their design, their overall design, and their stuff like that, they feel like super older thingy. During the Horus Heresy release. Oh, so they're more recent. It didn't give me those vibes. They gave me the vibes that like, oh, like one of the first things we're gonna think about is what if they're like space knights, like space medieval knights, but yeah, something like that. That's what I got the vibe. That's how much vibes I got from them.
Policy, more ways than one. If they're fighting demons, demons corrupt and make people crazy.
Uh-huh.
So if I'm a guardsman and I'm fighting demons, and the Grey Knights arrive and they kill all the demons, I'm a risk. And so guess who's not making it out of there?
So basically, if you're not a, so basically you're dead either way. You're dead either way once these guys arrive. Like, they're the cavalry, but they're also after you. So what's the point? So they're like nukes, human nuke, superhuman nuclear bombs, basically. Like everyone's a collateral. Grey Knights.
On the tabletop, they're very strike fast, strike hard kind of people.
Like, oh, you fought demons for your valor? We'll kill you anyway.
They teleport.
You have to do
all over the
systematic
place.
purges of
They're
civilians.
fast strike groups, small amounts of those because they're so dang strong. You only have so many characters, but with it, you get in there. You're very tough, very tanky. You hit really hard, and you try to bounce around the back.
You know, so far, this faction is the easiest to paint. They look easiest to paint, and they still look like they're a bitch to paint. Like, they're mostly gray with, compared to the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Space Marines earlier with lots of gold, they look easier to paint compared to the other factions mentioned before. But they still look hard to paint.
Battlefield quickly, but you don't have numbers, and so
Yeah, look at them. Look,
Grey Knight.
this is one of the main reasons why I said they look like the earlier ones to be conceptualized, because their designs they're still complicated, but compared to the other ones, they look much more simpler. Look at those guys, so cute, chibi. They're so knightly, yeah.
It's really
That's
damn
the
hard.
thing.
They're fun though if you like that kind of fast striking kind of.
I like the
Oh,
blades,
and
though.
Also, Caldor Drago is a thing.
What the hell?
Alright, just get into Caldor Drago. All right.
Yo,
that is-
Yo, what if there's an enemy behind him? What if there's this guy can't see behind him? How? You can just backstab this guy. Don't worry.
oh my goodness gracious!
I forgot. Yeah, they're all psychic.
Veil about his fist. I am the spear in his hand. Though we are lost, I am the shield on his arm. I am the flight of his arrows. I am the hammer. I am the sword. I am the shield. I am a soldier at the battle at the end of the Grey Knights are pretty hardcore.
They
are
look
as
so-
holy as you can get for a space marine. If you like space
Yeah, they look
Marines,
good.
You don't think they're holy enough? You want to be holier? Grey Knights. Now, if you wanna be
They're like Knight
holier,
Templars, but space.
big. Let's talk Imperial Knights.
Damn. So this is like super mega space marines, I guess. Oh Lord,
Do
he
you
coming!
like gigantic walkers.
Oh, these are the giant mechs thingy. Okay.
Size of homes or medium-sized buildings. Do you want to kill heretics? But
Shit.
you want to kill like 40 of them per turn? Do you want a gigantic old-school knight noble house style of walkers with giant chainsaw arms? Then you got Imperial Knights. Imperial Knights, it's not a whole lot to talk about them because they're just gigantic walkers.
They still have a
this
uniform.
old school like house feel to them. Like literally like they're a
Night
house.
houses or something
Each
like that.
Imperial Knight comes from a house, and each of them act in their own special way. These behemoth of walkers also destroy almost everything in their path, killing full swaths.
So they
of
also have
squads,
giant robot
taking
mega
front
battles.
shots, stepping on legions of troops. Like these things do not mess around, and they look so cool. Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights,
Chaos
for that
Knights.
matter, don't have a whole lot to discuss. They're just super.
Wait, is this a giant demon? Is this a Titan-sized demon, like a Balrog or something?
Big, heavy walkers, and they look different depending on your house or chaos god you currently believe in. And overall, these things are just really cool.
Bloodthirster. Ah, this is the normal size,
They're
okay.
the big, scary, big unit of Warhammer, and if you want to collect them, go to town. They make for a great painting project too.
Speaking of which, like imagine on a tabletop you have like what's the regular guys, the Imperial regular guys, like you have a lot of those, and then your opponent uses this. It's like he's carrying around like a master grade Gundam or a perfect grade Gundam equivalent of this thing. It's like can you make room for the table because we have this aqua flask sized figure, and then in 2 turns wipes out half your squad. Like, yeah, but worth. Imagine someone whips out a Battle Lord Titan. What's that? It's like a Mega Titan or something. This is no longer a tabletop. Like we have to bring this down to the floor so there's enough space to play in. Like you put more time assembling your troops. You put more time assembling your troops than removing them because these guys are on the field. Second to the Imperator class Titan. Imperator.
Let's talk something about a little bit different, a little more gold.
Adeptus
If
Custodes.
Guardsmen are regular soldiers, Space Marines are super soldiers, Grey
The
Knights
pants.
are super soldiers, the Adeptus Custodes are super soldiers cubed. The Adeptus Custodes are the 3rd major army.
Guys, we found it. We found the battle pass owners. These guys redeemed the battle pass. This guy bought the battle pass. they're all dripped out in gold cosmetics.
I own.
You're the 1%.
I know. I got carried away. Okay, but that's all. I only have 3. Okay.
Banana man.
They are our final brand of Space Marines, but these
Is the
ones
Emperor
are
one?
super
They have the same armor. Is the
okay?
Emperor of
If
Custodes
a
as well?
Guardsman is 6 foot, a Space Marine is 7 feet, a Custodian is 8 feet. These are
8
the giant defenders of Holy Terra, which is also Earth. Earth is Terra.
Mhm.
Earth is Terra.
Okay.
Themselves. These are
They have the same
people that
armor as the
literally
Emperor.
guard the Emperor's throne room, hence Custodes. These boys protect the Emperor's throne room at all times and are literally like handcrafted people. They're not humans brought up by.
Wait, is that a spear gun thingy? Look, is this a gun lance? Look at this one. Like it's a spear, but it has a magazine sticking out here, and there's a barrel over there.
Gene Sears, and these are all handcrafted.
Big A is
super
different to the
soldiers.
Custodes.
I think from a tube. These behemoth of men are like 8 feet, 8.5 feet tall, and functionally immortal. They stand
Mega Psyker,
still,
but there's no Psyker.
spear in hand for hundreds of years without the need to sleep and barely even the need to eat, watching over the throne
Oh, this one's
and
ridiculous.
every other
What's
area
with that on their
of
head,
Holy
though?
Terra for their entire purpose in life. And oh my lord, are they
Bolter
terrifying.
spears.
These custodians put Space Marines to shame.
I love polearm type weapons. That's why I like a gun lance in Monster Hunter. Look at this. Oh, there's still a lot of them though. Look at this. Imagine an army of premium pass Space Marines versus F2P Imperial Guards.
If you like your super soldiers, your super mega soldiers,
Super mega soldiers.
can take on probably 3 Space Marines and
Mm-hmm.
most likely win. There are many different groups of custodians as well, like the Solar
Yeah.
Watch, or there's
I
also
don't like this one. Oh, this one's slightly better. Is that a bardiche? A halberd bolter? I know it's an axe. It's a great axe bolter spear thingy.
Out to seemingly unimportant
Being a
individuals
custodes is
that
almost
protect them.
cheating.
They believe that they are going to be doing something very important in their lives. For instance, let's say a regular guardsman gets the protection of this giant 8.5 foot tall golden god, because that guardsman will end up becoming a general one day or something of that nature. The custodians work in mysterious ways and are almost always outnumbered, but never outmatched. These people are pretty horrifying, both on the tabletop as well as in the lore.
So they're like the exact oh my god. So they're like the exact opposite of the Imperial Guard, right? So are they like human-sized in terms of combat, are like human-sized Imperial Knights? So you need like 3 of them and then they're the equivalent of an entire regiment.
There are very few of them, however.
They're so gold, they're like the battle pass.
Is this the giant ass box of toys? Box board game thing?
This is not giant ass, I'm pretty sure this is like this.
No, I mean the big box that you showed.
No, that's a different game.
Only so many of these people that can
This
have
Warhammer,
a
no.
gear this
They're the
strong,
peak.
weapons this powerful, and training this good. And the custodians have all 3 of it. For
I like that
100
one design.
stood
I want
my
that
watch
weapon.
Amidst the somber shadows of the Sanctum Imperialis.
Wait.
I was still
Uh-huh.
as a statue, but always ready, always attuned to dangers unseen. Days, months, years passed by in a frenzied blur beyond those walls, yet within little moved
Constantine
and nothing
Valder.
changed. For 100 years I did not but wait, yet had any threat appeared, I would have struck it down in a heartbeat. For 100 years I stood my watch, and as it ends I can tell you this: patience
That is
is a
epic.
weapon.
That is so
The
epic.
custodians are the top dogs of the Imperium.
I like their
and they
melee
burn just the
guns.
same way. Though I do want to discuss a little bit about the
Other female custodes.
Sisters of Silence before we get out of here, because the Sisters of Silence I also have a few
This is
of,
like super
and they're
sororitas. Is that what they are?
fun, but they don't get enough attention.
So they're like there's like premium battle pass Space Marines, and then there's a premium battle pass Adepta Sororitas. They're anti-psychers. Oh yeah, because because they paid for the battle pass. That's why they have extra stats. That's it. The free to play sororitas, they don't have access to the premium stuff. They have to subscribe or they have to buy the battle pass to get this kind of gear.
These kind of bald plume.
Yeah, that one is pointing at you. Yeah, that's buy right now. Subscribe. Get your 3-month subscription plan. What do you mean they're blanks? What's a blank?
Ladies are a whole group of pariahs, or also known
Oh yeah,
as
they
blanks.
just.
We'll be
I was asking. I like that I was just asking, and and then Bricky explains it to us.
referring to them as blanks from now on.
Blanks.
So as every mind is somewhat connected to the warp,
Mhm.
these blanks are a genetic mutation that has it suppressed heavily. Because of that mind suppression, normal people feel this weird, like, uncomfortable nature when around them. When a Sister of Silence walks past them, you feel ill. You feel just uncomfortable and strange. So most of them don't actually live past childhood, because once they are birthed, they're, well, you know,
They're just
or
disposed
something at a
of.
very young age, because they just emit a horrifying aura. These ladies, however, are guardians of the throne as well for more
Alright.
psychic threats. See, none of the custodians are psychers, so they have a difficult time dealing with major demons and other kinds of psychic phenomena. These sisters are extremely specialized in it, all of them taking a vow of silence.
Wait, so does that mean you have to be a psyker to be able to damage a demon? Is that how it is?
As they don't speak, hence the term Sisters of Silence, but they communicate through hand gestures and things of that nature. But if there's a demon issue, if there's any...
Wait, so if the demons are immune to physical, so how are the Space Marines in the video game, and even the ones that we fight in Darktide? Diba in Darktide we are like regular people, but we can kill the demon host, or we can kill the Beast of Nurgles, the Chaos Ogre and stuff like that. Oh, you just banish them. So if a sister, if this Sister of Silence thing, if they like shank a demon, the demon just dies, no? It's not just banished? Is that how it is? They do permanent... They're like, they remind me of the Dark Templar of the Protoss race in StarCraft. They're not killed wholly, they just sent back to the warp. But if a blank does that, is it different? Like, if a blank shanks a demon, does that have a different effect if a regular Space Marine shanks a demon? They are permadeath apart from knowing their name before shanking them.
Kind of the sisters are extremely adept.
So this reminds me so much of the Dark Templar in StarCraft. So in StarCraft, they're cerebrates for the Zerg race. So if you kill a cerebrate, they just regenerate later on. But the Dark Templar, their weapons kind of prevent that regeneration. It's also there's also an explanation that it has something to do with them not being psionically linked to the other regular Protoss. So yeah, these sisters remind me of the Dark Templar.
Dealing with them thanks to their blank gene. They normally work a lot of time.
I like how they're silver coded.
They have to deal with both kinds of threats, but
I like how they're silver coded. Really, Dark Templar because service from Alistair. Yeah, that just reminds me of them. Look how they're color coded. The sisters are silver. Oh, I see them in gold as well. And these ones are like gold. The what's that? Adeptus Custodes. The polearm guys. Gunlance people. Yeah, Gunlance people and stuff. This one is Tsundere. This Sister of Silence is Tsundere. You know, because she has twin pigtails. I love Big E's retinue, not gonna lie.
But they're not represented that way on the tabletop. In fact, they only have like one real model for them, which is very unfortunate.
That's a great sword.
Soon, because I think they should really be working together as it is that.
When you say Big E, I remember Big E the wrestler, Big E
Talking
Lance.
about blanks.
Blanks.
Let's talk assassins.
Assassin. Officio Assassinorum.
It's been a long video. We're about to round it out. We got this and one more human thing, and then we're done. The assassins, though, the Officio Assassinorum. Oh boy, these people are dead.
So low res. The picture is so low res.
These people will mess you up.
I like how Bricky is so giddy when explaining certain factions.
So these are from the Officio Assassinorum.
Assassin
a very special
houses.
organization, and they are handpicked by the Grand Master of the Officio Assassinorum from the what was it called? Scola Progenium.
Scola Progenium.
It's basically an orphan school.
Mounted
Got murdered
parents.
by demons or something. You get sent to this, and you get trained to be
Hello,
whatever.
Taiki.
Tempestus drop troop, an inquisitor, maybe even.
Yo, I like this one though. I want this strip. I think so far I like the ones that have cloaks. The ones that look like a combination of tech and high tech and traditional fantasy armor.
Maybe you get a blank gene and you get thrown into the Sister of
Sister.
Silence, or sometimes you just disappear.
Mhm.
When you are taken, however, you go to one of 4 temples because the Assassinorum works in the.
Reminds me of Ragnarok Online. Oh, you're a thief, you're gonna be an assassin, you're gonna be a rogue, you're gonna be, you're a novice, you turn into a job class that fits, you know, the purpose.
temple style things. These temples are the Vindicare, Caluxus,
Calexis,
and Eversor
Calidus,
temples. We'll start with the
Evosor.
Vindicare. I'm far away. I've been sitting here for 3 weeks.
Hmm.
Poof! The Vindicare temple is the main
Sniper.
temple.
Sniper's a good job.
Sniper rifles for all these assassins. Their whole point is to be able to be in a spot
Hmm.
and sit there, eye and scope, for weeks, waiting for their perfect target, taking people out from literal miles away.
Huh? Wait. So so there are snipers in this tabletop, right? So how do you represent that? Are you gonna like? I can imagine someone using this as like, okay, I'm gonna put this figure over there on the shelf about 2 meters away, about 2 meters away from the actual table where we're playing, to represent that we have snipers here.
After extremely long time periods, the Vindicare Temple is about precise, perfect aim. There have been reports of Vindicares being able to single out particular body parts from over 2-3 miles away. Temples in the head, the jugular, for instance, and been sitting there after weeks. And when they're ready, take that shot. Time is done. Packs them up.
Ratings
The
to
Calidus
scouts than vinegar and work in any
is
field.
a lot more about shape shifting and deviance.
Oh, you're not a
It's
pure
mostly
assassin.
female-based one, or at least it seems to be, and this allows
It's a
lot of
spy,
people
guys.
to
This is the spy.
for certain individuals to be able to kind of transmorph themselves and infiltrate areas that are problems. These assassins will end up taking missions that take them years, 2-3 years, to infiltrate a heretical group and slowly work their way up, just to get enough time to put a bullet into the main target's head and then escape unharmed. Or become the main target and sabotage it from within. These are all completely about deception, mind tricks, polymorphing, and everything in between. And lots of drawings. Lots of drawings. The Eversor Temple.
Wait, hold on. Let me just get some water. Wait, so if if that assassin is a spy, how do you represent that in a tabletop? I mean, it's gonna obviously look like chat clip that part. So what if yeah, how do you put that? Like, of course it's an assassin, so they have to be hidden, right? So how does that translate to the tabletop? Suddenly you're just gonna tell your opponent like, oh, by the way, your this particular unit is done because I reveal my trap card, and then I suddenly put this new assassin figure there. Or, I don't know. You just say, oh, by the way, you're that one. You can't do that action anymore because he dead. And then I'm gonna reveal this one. It's like the closest thing we have to a trap card. Is that it? There's a special ruling. I don't know how that works.
Temple is about when you don't want anything to come back alive, friend or foe. You want to.
Oh, it's like Grey Knight Assassin.
And Eversor is psychogenically conditioned with just psychotherapy and psychological torture to only feel violence, hatred, and anger. It does the Clockwork Orange style of thing of just making you forced to watch never-ending pain and
That was the
misery
end goal.
and psycho conditioning, I guess.
So they're gonna be good at torture.
And then they pump you full of tons of psychedelic drugs, and they cryo-freeze you. And then they drop you in an area where they just want to make sure everything is dead. And then you defrost, full of just all this insane, mind-boggling psychotherapy and psychedelic drugs, and you just go to town.
Damn.
Yeah, if you don't care if anyone comes back alive. You're like, all right, lost cause, send them in.
So this is like a human nuclear bomb, but instead of a nuke, you have a coked out human popsicle that defrosts. Like, oh my god, this is an addict in a jar. Yeah, this is an addict. It's an addict in a jar. You drop it in the area. Yeah, okay. I see how it goes. So it's the kill everyone human bomb.
finally, there's the most bizarre temple, the Calexis
Calexis.
Temple. The Calexis assassins are feared even among the other temples. So that blank gene, the people will go to the Calexis Temple with this as well. And this is where they can harness that to be massively anti-psyker or even just anti-regular people.
The anti-mage.
They're seen with extreme fear and distrust among many, many people. They're described by the Eldar by quote, pure evil. Imagine that uncomfortable feeling from that blank gene I mentioned, and then imagine them being taught.
What is this guy doing? What is this blue guy doing? Oh no, evil thoughts, no!
And given equipment to amplify it by 100. If normally regular people feel uncomfortable, now they are basically akin to being a siren wailing directly in your ear. And if you're a psyker, oh no. The sheer presence of a Calexis assassin is enough for you to tear your skin off. You will rather gouge your eyes out and rip your nails off than even being near this person. The Calexis assassin is when you want psychers to literally lose their minds, and they will go on their knees and ask you to gun them down because it is a suitable choice over being anywhere near you.
Guys, we found it, guys. It's the brain rot assassin. It just replaced the most overused memes in your mind. And if you're a psyker, so you experience the brain rot memes in 3D, in 4K HD in your mind, and that's what's gonna force you to kill yourself. I guess that's what they are. I'm gonna kill you with brain rot. Yep.
Motto of that temple is that which is unknown and unseen commands the greatest fear. Now, for the tabletop, assassins aren't that special. You can call them in no matter what.
So they can be used. They can be used to everything.
They do a lot of work for themselves, but at the same time, they're very specialized and require a lot of finesse. And they work the way you generally want them to, though. You want to cause some distortion and weird stuff, you take a Calidus. You want to just murder swaths of infantry and then blow up Eversoul. You want to kill that one guy, Vindicator. If you have a lot of psychers, Calexis. It's a nice little, like, jack of all trades if you have something you want to kill. And you get to choose which, which is really fun. But now, let's talk about the last human faction. We can round this video out before we do part 2. The Inquisition.
Wait, how do you round up the human Noob? How do they because you know, once the killing is done, does the thing just expire, or do they retrieve the Calexis assassin? Oh wait, was it Calexis or Calidus? Yeah. Do they just get them out there again? Like the drug user human Nook? Do they still retrieve those assassins, or they just let it die for overdose or something?
We have a lot to talk about with them.
On the subject of heresy.
Oh boy.
The Spanish Inquisition.
Where do I even begin with the Inquisition?
Oh, it was a one-way. Oh no.
You can think of the KGB, the Gestapo, the CIA, FBI, any of these kinds of people.
Images
and
found.
then mark it up by about 10.
They're like Van
And
Helsing,
give them the
Techno
most
Helsing.
power in the entire Imperium. No, you know what? How about this? This right here. It's not just a quote. This is the Imperial motto. The motto of the Inquisition. I apologize for my bad pronunciation. Innocentia nihil probat. Innocence proves nothing.
Yeah, that's hardcore.
The most powerful organization
That's hardcore, not gonna lie.
in the Imperium. The secret police. Their #1 motto is innocence proves nothing.
I mean, I guess it's just like real. Okay, but I like the drip though. I like the drip of this one. It's like Space Helsing. Although this one doesn't look that technically, you know.
The Inquisition goes around like the secret police or like detectives to find issues in the Imperium. And they have different ordos depending on which one we're talking about. The Ordo Heretius,
this one's good.
the Ordo Xenos,
Too much.
the Ordo Malleus, for instance, and a whole bunch of other.
This is a Space Marine.
It's obvious they deal with heretics. Xenos tries to find alien threats, and Malleus is demons.
So are these ones are Inquisitors also like genetically enhanced or anything? Are they like Space Marines as well? They have slightly different armor, but I can see like tubes and wires and stuff like that. So they're like not as much as the Marines. But they're still like they still get augmentations, right?
They all have different.
Oh, this one looks good.
specializations in what they're trying to go for as this.
It also looks
Inquisitor.
hard to paint.
And that's what they're called, Inquisitors. Each of them, as an Inquisitor, has their
Is this even human? Are these all Inquisitors?
own free reign.
This looks like a demon, actually.
Ship, crew, and they go out to find problems and interrogate people a lot. They are above the law.
Oh look, it's a space
Every
church. The guy on the left. Oh, okay.
over Space Marines. Now, the Space Marines might argue against them and stuff, and there might be a lot of blowback, but technically they are above them as Inquisitors.
Whoa, my God.
They are looking to invest.
Yeah, this one. I like this art. I like this drip. Is that a mini bolter that looks cute? But it has it's a mini bolter with a scope.
And figure out coups and cults and demonic incursions and possible Xenos issues like Gene Stealers or new.
So they're higher than
in
Space
Valeria.
Marines and
they're about learning that stuff and actually doing detective work. And memes aside,
they have the best
the
looking
Inquisition having
cosmetics.
all of this power does make them a little bit power hungry and frantic sometimes. And yes, it is still a bad
Higher
thing,
than
but
anyone?
Most of them are pretty good at their job, and they spend a lot of time.
You know they're rich because they can use that much hair gel in the 40k universe. And they have high quality spray net. Imagine fighting with that hairstyle.
Being very diligent to make sure that all of these leads they follow.
She has access to
properly. Right, they're
cosmetics.
basically space detectives with just enormous power.
I vibe with it.
Sometimes a bit of a power complex. And we haven't even talked about Exterminatus yet.
Exterminatus.
Exterminatus is deeming a planet unfit to be saved. I deem that this planet.
Yeah, I heard about the
is
Exterminatus
infested,
one.
and taking
Yeah.
it back will cost too many resources and is not worth it. I have now committed Exterminatus on this planet. I will now sign the death warrant of an entire
Damn.
Imperium planet as it is unfit to take and better to be destroyed than allow an enemy to hold it. This can mean saturation bombardment. This can mean cracking the planet's core and breaking it apart. Doesn't matter. Render this planet inhospitable to all life. Yes, the innocents proves nothing people are the only people
Damn.
who can choose this planet must die in its entirety.
You can hear him like chuckling, like he gets he sometimes trembles when emphasizing some of the parts that he thinks is cool. It's fun.
Yeah, you're playing the villain.
Uh-huh.
Now it is memed a lot, but most Inquisitors are very rare to
It's
do
like the planet
Exterminatus.
cracker.
Exterminatus is a very crazy thing. There's only so many worlds that you don't want to destroy all of them. Now naturally, with the memes aside, there are some people who are a little bit rough on this one. But most Inquisitors generally don't like to do Exterminatus a ton, but it is an option.
40k
they
discussions,
have,
yeah,
and it's
definitely like a
crazy option.
podcast.
Think about it.
Definitely.
Secret
What was
police
that? What was that?
inquisition they have, and it's a crazy
Definitely
option.
not gay
Think
for
about it.
Celestine.
Secret police
But Celestine is earlier, right? The angel one. Yeah.
Inquisition are unfortunately not represented on the tabletop very much.
This is also hard to paint. What the fuck? So yeah, I guess there's nothing's easy to paint in this game. Saint Celestine. This is like, look at this crossbow thingy and the hat. Is that a candle on her hat? For lighting.
Generally, kind of put one in your army if you feel like it. You have a couple special options.
Oh, they're not a faction. They're not a playable faction. They're like, oh, this is the dripped one. I like this one.
Put in there, and they really need a lot more effort put into them. They're not quite where I want them to be. Overall, the Inquisition makes for a lot of the best storytelling as well.
Is that the saint one? And diba, this one is Sororitas. Saint Celestine is Sororitas, right? So they have a thing going on. They work with, yeah, I mean, I guess they work with the lower ranks of the Imperial stuff.
Because it's a little bit hard to talk about a big story of a whole bunch of Space Marines killing something, right?
I
Just a
guess.
battle story.
Yuri
Not
in
interesting.
space.
Having that intrigue and that moral dilemma.
I like the Van
that Wizard
Helsing-ish
has
aesthetic
makes
of this,
for a lot
guys.
better media. And honestly, the more people do it, I think is better because then it adds a little more humanity to the Warhammer horrible, horrible grimdarkness. And wow, we just finished the humans. All right. Come back to part 2 when we talk about Chaos and Xenos, because we got to talk about the 4 Chaos gods and all the
Chaos gods, yeah.
legions, and the Tau and the Necrons and the Orcs, and oh boy, we got a lot. I'll see you in part 2.
Okay, so that was like part 1, so it's mostly just the humans, right? So we're gonna go to part 2 in a bit. Hold on, let me just get some water. Intermission. We're gonna be back. Hold on. BRB.